a very, very big comfort pick here coming in for Keyboy. And what's great about this, the fact that they picked it up in the first phase, or in the first pick of the second phase, is because it's a good flex pick over to Lutpi. Keyboy can play it, Lutpi can play it, both of them do really well on it, and it sets up for now them to get a counter matchup when they get to see what Myanmar go for.
And also, just as a note, I think this Yuzhong ban is still the portrait. This new portrait is for CC. I'm assuming. Okay, interesting, because as I was saying and looking at their old lineup from one of the games that they swept here, the Dairoth was a part of this lineup. You know, the Dairoth they played last time was picked up there with the Ruby and the Luoyi. The difference, of course, this time is they have a Mozkov. Like I was saying, what is going to be that good matchup for the Claude in lane? At least with the Mozkov, you should be relatively okay to farm up pretty well, and you know that Claude overall presence in the game farms lanes really quickly, like later on using the Blazing Duet, and can join fights. So why not pick Mozkov? So at least you have the Spear of Destruction. You can hang out in the lane a little bit longer if you want to, and hopefully you'll land the Spear of Destruction. You can follow up with it. I think part of that too is, if they follow up with the Mozkov, they set up really well with the armor penetration from a Dairoth. But look at this. The Masha comes through, and we've seen teams, I think even Malaysia banned the Masha
twice
against Indonesia, because they know that it is devastating here in the hands of Lutpi.
Especially with the Sky Piercer. We were talking about abusing the Sky Piercer on the Roger, on the Brody, but I think if you think Sky Piercer, right? Thunder Pierce definitely comes to mind. You know, there's already a Sky built there. You know, they are the Sky Kings. That's what we call them in Indonesia. And, you know, you get the Thunderclap with your ultimate. Masha fits to that, you know, Sky Piercer category so well. And I'm really interested to see how Lutpi plays this Masha, because it's so weird for Lutpi. We didn't get to see it for the most part in the regular season of MPL Indonesia, and we didn't even get to see it for the most part in the playoffs. He started picking it up after losing to Luke, you know, an opponent of his who plays the Masha a whole lot. So the fact that Lutpi, now he's added a hero that he wasn't comfortable on to his arsenal and making it a prio pick for himself, making it a power pick, it's really impressive.
Well, we're going to find out here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the match. It's a best of 3 between Myanmar and Indonesia to secure a slot, the first one to the grand final, of course, later on, but more so for the WEC in Riyadh for 2024. It starts here in this best of 3. We saw both lineups. We talked about it quite extensively, and once we get a look also at the emblems, I'm not sure if anything stuck out just yet. It is Ken rolling with the Impure Rage. I like the fact that Fredrin is still versatile enough to pick like 3 different emblem sets, maybe 4, you know, and kind of play around with that. Also, there's a whole lot of lethal ignitions here. Zidez is also using the Brave Smite. We've seen this plenty of times with the Ruby, and even on the other side, nothing too crazy from this. Lutpi does have the lethal ignition himself, so we'll see how this kind of new signature pick, I guess you could say, it's like a new pick in his repertoire to make work, because he's dealt with it so many times over in Indonesia against his other opponents. So it makes me really wonder too how this is going to work in the grander scheme of things, these later team fights, when we're talking about especially the Sky Piercer being built and online. And so for now, neither teams are really going to be pushing the momentum just yet. I think with these lineups for both of them, you just want to wait for the turtle. But it looks like Albert already going to go in, but just visiting, you know. I mean, really, you can't get this kill that you're looking for, but everybody needs to get these level 4s before this fight does become, before it does break out for that first turtle. So right now, we're still waiting for this last Endominion to go ahead, and just look at the attention here. They might try to go for something, you know, try to pull like a cheeky move up top, but Turtle's up. And with that, Ruby DD doesn't have the level 4 just yet, so they'll wait. Sans also waiting, so it's up to Ken. Go ahead and stall out that Turtle, start it up. But look at Indonesia also getting in position here.
For Myanmar so far, Ken holding on to that turtle. Albert pops in a shield unity. Keyboy looking for an angle now of that onward. You can see that Albert will go for the shield unity onto Zide. Let's give me the feather airstrike as well as the onward to get a claim for his blood. Albert winning on the red tree battle, but in the back it's gonna be Ruby DD who claims the kill on the Sans. But Lutpi flickers forward now and just goes in for the last 2 scratches to get the trade in favor of Indonesia. Keyboy continuing with the onward and the Earth Shatter, knocking Ken up, doing some damage, and he does have the Primal Wrath, so he can try to go for a little bit more damage here. It is going to be the Praiser's Wrath forcing him out. He will be able to onward backwards again, just buying some time. Finally gets that Primal Wrath off. But yeah, early on, a win for Indo.
Yep, Keyboy knew. You know, he's like, I can stay here and just be annoying for a while because I have Primal Wrath. And yeah, they came out on top of that whole exchange. Oh, mid lane.
Great pickup on the Suns by Zide with the flicker into the I'm Offended, straight into the follow-up coming in from Myanmar. Well played to equalize the kills. On the board, diversion into the bottom lane.
Oh.
Doesn't have the I'm Offended though, so really no threat of taking CW down, not just yet.
Yeah, it was a good idea, like send the package, you know, type thing. Here we go. I was going to talk about the items because that whole exchange, how it happened. We might not get a chance though.
Earth Shatter. Onward not connecting earlier. Shielding need to lock her down. Dozide to be able to pop into I'm Offended, but will fall to the Poissons as Juno in the bottom lane will still be able to use the Abyss Walker and the Spear of Destruction as well to try to defend and clear out these minion waves from pushing into that turret.
Okay. You know, I wanted to get a chance to talk about the items, but it looks like Indonesia just wants to keep fighting.
Another Feather Airstrike, no Thunderclap just yet. Litpi decides to use it to try to go for that execute, and Sans will still be able to claim that kill up top.
All right, so Indonesia finding picks where they can. They might just go for another. Juno gonna be fine. Gets out of there with a walker. But so this is the thing, man. Like with the lead that Indonesia has gotten themselves. Oh no, Albert, is he gonna be in trouble?
Taking a whole lot of damage. A chain CC as well, but a good Earth Shatter from Keyboy now to go for the re-engage. Sans follows up as well. That's going to be a blazing duet from CW as he pops in a Purify to get out of the Dispersion CC and now goes back to the Battle Mirror image onto the turtle. Second turtle of the game, Albert on a diversion. Trying to give Ken a little bit of an angle. Spear of Destruction, but Albert just secures it with a Retribution. CW, no Purify, going to be caught on the flanks, and Myanmar will be able to get a trade off for that turtle. It's a kill onto the gold lane.
Okay, maybe we get a chance now. Let's look at it real quick before Ken starts a fight. But first items kind of falling into place already. You got a Corrosion Scythe here for Juno. He's going to need a little more time to build up because the same thing is there for CW, and he's on to his second item. With that too, Sky Piercer already being locked in for Lutpi. That first item, that rush, is exactly what we were thinking about for the Masha, and that can be quite devastating. You got the wings already picked up by Sans, helps with that little bit of shielding and a little bit more mobility that already Farsa has a ton of. So with this, you know, this early game kind of advantage that Indonesia was able to get themselves gives them this upper hand, plus the defensive items they've already locked in. Still looking to get some of these first ones locked in. Oh, Albert. This is what I'm saying. He's quite tanky, even with the Baksha. So the classic matchup between the Fredrin.
What?
Oh, wow, Lutpi. That's the Thunderclap Pierce.
We were talking about the Sky Piercer, the Thunder Pierce, we might as well call it now, with how he's able to utilize the Masha. But remember, during the rosters, you know, when we're talking, looking at the lineups, we were talking about how Ruby DD has so much more experience compared to some of the members from Indonesia, and especially his lane opponent. Lutpi's a rookie in MPL ID in Indonesia, and he just got a solo kill against a legend.
Man, right now, they're just playing with these timings that they have on you know, especially the different lanes, but Lutpi especially with that Sky Piercer like we were talking about, you know, and we know, hold on, Keyboy diversion?
Okay, it's going to be Keyboy caught in, and that's going to be everything. In the kitchen sink, Keyboy still able to flicker out to safety, but the Spirit of Destruction and the follow-up from Ruby DD as he flickers in will be able to catch Keyboy and take him down in the 6th minute of the game. Straight for the turtle, the final one of this game to spawn back into the Land of Dawn. Straight onto it, though, it's going to be Ken and Ruby DD. Albert is looking for an angle to perhaps go for it. Pops into Poissons, hovers over the turtle, goes in for the Retribution, but it's still going to be Ken who wins it out in the end. And that's the first turtle on the board for Myanmar, technically. Shield Unity, Feather Airstrike, catching Zide as he flickers out with the Don't Run Wolf King. CW jumps in with the lazy duet, gets caught by Offended, but will be able to take him down as he goes back towards that Battle Mirror image. Looking with the flicker only onto the wall, though, loses that 1 HP bar and gets to reset on the Thunderclap, but is not in range to go for that Thunderclap. Now another diversion. Lutpi gonna be caught by the taunt again. Lutpi taunted up and locked down by the Spear of Misery as Justin gets rid of him. That's gonna be a good dodge by Keyboy, sidestepping away from the Appraiser's Rattle. Now it's gonna be the re-engage coming down onto Myanmar. Ken looking for the damage, but Keyboy will out-sustain the Fredrin, and the Feather Airstrike gets popped in. The last one doesn't connect, but the flicker does! Gila Sans continuing on the Farsa.
Oh my goodness. You know, I think that's all it's going to be is just clash after clash and team fights, because so far, that's what both these teams have wanted to do. And actually, when you watch them through the group stage, and we talked about exactly how this new patch, these new items, has changed the course of the game, this is the highlight. Like, these are the ways, the play styles that these teams have. They've been known for before, and now it's even more so. And Albert going to battle out with Ken, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Albert did actually steal that away. Another feather airstrike as well. rubydd going to be knocked up by Keyboy, and just with those shields thrown out, Albert will be able to take him down. In the mid lane, Team Lutpi wanted to go for that turret. CW will be able to get the tier 2 up top for free. However, no, not for free. Juno, good maneuvers to look for trades on the map.
Wow. Okay. So again, Indonesia will still hold on to the lead that they've got themselves up to this point. They are furthering it a little bit more. And even with Myanmar, they've been making actually pretty good positioning plays with Justin utilizing that diversion. It's just unfortunate because they're kind of, you know, the item disparity or the economy lack here is really what's showing in some of these skirmishes and team fights. And so as they get ready for this Lord here, I think it's still a little tough for Myanmar to actually approach this fight because they're outgunned and out-itemed. Even with a good diversion play, if they can catch out a key target, which could be Sans, could be CW, then they might have the upper hand. Then they have to deal with Lutpi, especially on this Masha, like we said, with the Skypiercer already and other items locked in. So with that, Myanmar will actually go ahead and try to dance this off, it looks like. But even with Keyboy, early immortality picked up. He has the Primal Wrath still available as well. The placement and positioning here for Indonesia is really what's going to kind of set this apart. And that with the lead they have, look how front forward they can be. They can actually dominate this side of this Lord, zoning out the members of Myanmar. You have to wait because rubydd, where is he going to enter from? But fourth of the health.
Ken's all alone. Chain CC'd. Albert going to be able to pick up the Lord for free. Ken to be melted down. Lutpi walking forward. CW with a battle mirror image aggressively as well to the fronts. But Indonesia will just be happy with that trade. No contest for Myanmar.
Okay, no contest for that one. Again, this is what I was saying. I think it'd be difficult for them to really contest that first Lord or even fight that fight. But, you know, the way that they come back into this game, even given the fact that 4,000 lead for Indonesia is really utilizing diversion like they have. They've had some pretty good plays, but also Juno. Great thing Juno hasn't died yet. He hasn't gone down. He's been able to farm up pretty well. He's got the 3 items. He's got the DHS, Corrosive Scythe. He's got the Golden Staff. So he should be able to pump out pretty good damage. Might work on that Wind of Nature next for a little defense. And he's going to be a key component in winning some of these fights. Not only that, but if rubydd can get the setup that he's looking for with this Dyroth pick, penetrate that armor and set things up here, what do you see?
Wait, did Albert just accidentally get 2 Sky Guardian helmets? I think he did, and he just sold the Sky Guardian helmet to buy another Ares belt. I think that might have been a mistake, man, and that's actually quite a costly one. I don't know if it's a visual bug or if it actually is true that he sold the Sky Guardian helmet, because I saw him pick it up, and there was 2 in the inventory. Juno doing a good job of clearing up top lane now. CW gets rid of the tier 2 in the mid lane as Lutpi as well tries to do the same thing, but towards the tier 2 in the bottom lane. CW with a battle mirror image towards the fronts, trying to go for some damage onto Ken, but he will still be able to utilize that turret splash to clear out the waves. And it seems for Indonesia, they want to get rid of all the turrets, all the base turret splashes with the First Lord.
Yeah, that's probably the best that they can do for now. Wow. Even with the lead that they have, they still have to respect the fact that, like I said, setup potential from Myanmar is actually pretty good, and Juno hasn't died, and because he has the 3 items that he really needs to lock in, he doesn't have to worry so much about having the Wind of Nature just yet, as long as they're on the defense. Once they start kind of pressing forward a little bit, obviously Juno's going to want some of that defensive, but he's all, right now he's, oh, hold on, Ken should be fine, gets thrown up into the air. This is all the battle for the orange, though.
Okay, that's a shield unit as well. Now into the Earth Shatter as he gets the stun down. Ken will be knocked back again with the Onward. They go for a flying off the sound, but he's still able to survive right now. The Feather Airstrike popped in, but gets caught by the Petrify as they look for Justin now, who's going to be completely isolated. Lutpi with another Thunderclap, and you might as well call it the Thunder Piercer, because that's what it is on the Masha. Your HP bar just disappears whenever he goes for that Thunderclap. Albert and Keyboy zoning Zide and rubydd. None of the backliners alive for Myanmar. Indonesia can go for the end right now. Battle Mirror Image, that's giving the Onward to cancel out any sort of re-engage from Zide. rubydd all alone. They're going to go straight for it. Lutpi again with the Thunderclap and the Sky Piercer to assassinate rubydd to claim game number 1 for Indonesia.
Man, oh man. I jokingly called it the Thunder Pierce in the draft.